everybody, Ramey here, and today what I want to do is I want to talk about open source access, open source materials versus, books and publications and stuff that cost money. And I want to talk about some of the issues around that, thoughts that I've had myself and things I've heard when I've been talking to other professors recently and other people in academia and, people in corporate and, practitioners, specifically around instructional design or technology-based fields, ed tech and stuff. But I just want to talk about some of the things that I've been hearing and some of the things I've noticed and some of the things I've experienced. So first of all, for those of you that don't know, I've been writing articles. I probably had my first publication in 2000, let's say well over 10 years. So maybe like 12 years I've been publishing in different journals. And I've had a blog and different things like that, but I've been specifically publishing in journals for about 12 years, probably since like 2008. I had my first few publications while I was getting my doctorate at Penn State University. And we always published to academic journals, which is great. I always thought that was the kind of the way to go. It's what you do. When I think back in history, it's what like Albert Einstein and all those guys, did. That's where they published. It was kind of like what we did. We always published in academic journals. It's where the respect is in academia. It's where things are peer reviewed. So colleagues are reviewing our work. I always thought that that's kind of what you did as a professor. And I think as a tenure track assistant professor, it's probably what you need to do because you have to get published, and so you kind of have no choice. That's what you've got to do. But now that I kind of reflect back after 12 years and I see what's happening in the media, I see what's happening in our world and our society, I really am moving away towards that thought process and starting to think that, open source is the way to go. So let's talk about some of the issues with what's happening with the journal. So first of all, yesterday, I'm editing a paper, doing a revision on a paper for a closed access journal, peer review process. And I'm not trying to talk about the peer review process, whether it's good or bad. I'm on like my 10th review of a paper, rechanging things from another reviewer, a whole mess of a process. But what I'm noticing is when I go to add some new sources, now, so I'm not on my university right now. I'm at home, working from home. It's summer, so I'm spending 99% of my time working from home. I'm only stopping in the office periodically right now. But I'm not logged into my university's VPN. That means I'm just like every other user, unless you have university access. I'm just like any normal home user. And I'd say like 80% of the articles I go to, I try to click on it and it says pay $39.95 for access to this article, just for access to the article. Now, what's crazy about that, what boggles my mind is, first of all, $40 to read an article. Okay. Secondly, what boggles my mind is the people that wrote the article, I know they're getting $0 when someone pays that fee. That's my biggest problem. The person who wrote the article is not making any money. So who's making money? The publisher. So someone writes an article. I mean, these publishers have it worked out so well. They get people to write articles for free. They get people to peer review those articles for free. And then universities pay large sums of money for access to the articles, or the general public pays $40 per article. None of the people that did any of the work get any money whatsoever. So that's the first biggest problem with any closed access journal, is the people writing the articles get nothing. So why would any professor or any person ever write an article for a journal that's going to make money off of you and you're the one doing all the work? Why would you ever do that? I can't figure it out. Now, when I was young and just starting out as a student, a Ph.D. student, I didn't know any better. And even as an assistant professor, I started to catch on to what was happening, but I couldn't really control it because I didn't have tenure and I had to get promoted. So I have to kind of feed in. You have to kind of feed into the system. You don't have a choice. It's up to me and other senior faculty members to put a stop to this. Especially the faculty members teaching at the R1 schools have to stop it. put a stop to this practice. We can't be doing free work. So that's my first biggest issue, is the pay, the lack of there's no pay. Secondly, $40 to access an article. Ask someone off the street when they go to a website and it says, oh, you need a subscription to this. If they go and subscribe, or they just click on to the next thing, they're probably on to the next thing in like 2 seconds. People aren't, I mean, you know, we're in like the age, if we have to talk about like the age of faculty, like we're in what the news industry was like 20 years ago when the internet first started. Like I don't pay, a lot of people my age aren't paying for newspapers anymore. We're going to the internet for our news. Same thing with faculty. Like I don't need to pay for a journal anymore when I should be able to just go read it online. Like I don't need to pay $40 to access an article. And the only way I can get the article is if I log in through my Works VPN, go into the library, and then get the article, because my university is probably paying hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars a year for access to those journals, which is just beyond ridiculous, considering the faculty are doing all the work for the articles. So it boggles my mind that we're still doing this. Next problem is there's a huge, huge gap right now in what practitioners doing, at least in the fields like educational technology, different tech fields, instructional design, learning professionals, a big gap between what researchers are doing and what practitioners are doing. There's a big gap. And it goes both ways in that a lot of researchers aren't instructional designers, and a lot of instructional designers aren't reading the research because they don't have access to it. So there's a lot of like miscommunication between these two areas within our field, and that doesn't make any sense. But it's not surprising. You know, I go to a research article and I see that it has a few hundred views, or maybe it even has a few thousand views. That's pretty low in the grand scheme of things. You know, it's really, really, really low to just have a few thousand views. So we can't be happy with those kind of numbers. And why does a research article only get a few hundred to a few thousand views? Because no one has access to it but us. We're our own closed system that we've cut every person off to. We charge them $40 per article to access it, and it doesn't make any sense. So no one's reading our work. So when I publish an article, so let me just give an example. I have a few YouTube videos that probably have, I don't know, a few of them that have a few 100,000 views alone. Just those videos. I'd say like a small video might have 10, 20,000 views. Some of my best work that was published in the best journals has been viewed barely 1,000 times. So when we talk about like our work getting out there, and as faculty, we're trying to get the word out. Like I want my research to be out there. Publishing it to a journal, it's not getting out there at all because no one has access to it. Okay, so those are some of the reasons like that I am very weary of the whole closed access system. So what are solutions to this problem? Solutions are publish to open access journals only. What does that mean? That means that anyone can go in and read it. It still can be peer reviewed, and it still is out there for everyone to see. There's lots of avenues to do this. Same thing goes with textbooks. Oh man, you know, we talk about college costs. I see people posting about college costs, and then they write a book and they charge $100 for it, or $50 or $150, whatever it is. You know, I go to use a book for my class and it's like $93. Nope, I'm not using it. Sorry, that book's not getting used. And I don't think we should be making students pay for those books. $93 for one class, and they have to take how many classes to graduate? No. You know, we're charging them like thousands of extra dollars in book fees. There's no reason that a book should ever cost $100. So as publishers, as people writing the book, like I don't mean publishers, I mean the people writing the book, the authors, we need to stop publishing at these places. There are so many places to post your book online. You can even just create a PDF file and post it on your website for free at the very least. You know, we don't need to have these large publishers anymore, especially with sites like Amazon and stuff that can publish for us very easily and cost effective. So we really need to start examining this. And, you know, as anyone who's writing, as any researcher, especially you senior researchers, if any of you are watching this, you know, I really, really, really encourage you to stop publishing at all these journals. Stop being a peer reviewer for them. Stop publishing to them. Stop using books in your classes that cost money. Stop using any journals and articles in your classes that students need to pay for access for. Just stop using it all. And guess what? It's going to change overnight if we stop using it. But right now, we're still using it. We're at this crossroads. I feel like we're at a crossroads where I feel like there's a big momentum, a big push from junior faculty and older faculty that see what's happening, that really want to change this system and really want to, you know, make that change and go to open access. So I feel like there's a push, and I feel like it's going to happen. Whether it happens in a month from now or in the next 15 years is going to be up to us as faculty, because we can make it happen overnight if we choose to. So, you know, those are kind of my thoughts and some of the things that I'm seeing regarding open access and kind of where my stance is. So you can be sure any work that I do from now on, you know, I'm writing an article right now, and my first thing was, I need to find an open access journal where this fits, because I refuse to publish it. I'll publish it on my website if that's all it can go to, if I can't find an open access journal, because I refuse to let these publishers profit off of me anymore when I receive nothing for it. My students receive nothing for it. There's no benefit besides me getting promoted from it, and I don't need the promotion now. So, you know what? I don't have to do it, and I don't think others should either. Thank you.